dominoes. Okay? So the first people that are mad, in case you're who? Fur traders. Well, who else are over there that we thought was okay? Somebody said it. Farmers. All of a sudden, how do you think they feel about leaving their farmland and moving east of the Appalachians? Farmers are mad. So your fur traders are mad because they can't trap the western lands. Your farmers are mad because they wanted to settle. Some had settled and farmed. Now they got to leave it. So who else is mad? It's a domino effect. Okay, farmers are mad. Fur traders are mad. What do farmers and fur traders do with their stuff? They give it to they sell it to the merchants, who then sell it for profit. So you got the merchants mad. Okay? They outfitted the fur trappers when they went west. They probably sold the seed and the equipment to the farmers that went west. Okay? Made money. Then the fur traders brought their furs back to the merchants who sold them for profit. The farmers brought their goods back who sold for profit. All of a sudden they have no profit, the merchants, because you have no more farmers and fur traders. Now, this is what I want you to think about, and I'd be really impressed. Who else was mad? Speculators. I want you to think about that. Speculators were mad. What's a speculator, Brady? Close. That's close. Now think, he's exactly right. Speculators are someone that watch something pretty close. Okay? What might they be watching in the western lands pretty close when things were good? No, you're on. It's a good bunch. You're not going to watch the fur trade because somebody's already doing that. You're not going to watch the farming. Somebody's already doing that. You're not going to watch the merchants because they're already selling stuff. But what's in the western lands that might be for you? Think about it. What's in the western lands that might be for you? Land. The land. Speculators are people no different than out at the McKinnon subdivision where the lambs live. I don't know who did, so I think maybe Mr. Schmelzer went out there and bought some lots and built some houses, and he's going to sell them for profit, right? He's kind of a speculator. He pays attention and he says, oh, wait a minute. I'll go out to that subdivision, build me a couple houses, cost me this much, I'll sell them for this much and make money. He's a land and building speculator. Well, that's what, who else was upset here? Is there were speculators that already went and bought land in the west, getting ready to sell it for a profit. Who the heck are they going to sell it to? I'm certain the Indians are not buying it. You know what I'm saying? So if your fur traders are gone, and your farmers are gone, who's going to buy this land that the speculators already purchased to sell for a profit? Nobody. So what the Proclamation of 1763 done, I guess it solved the problem, the conflict between Indians and whites, but you ticked off the fur traders, you ticked off the farmers, you ticked off the merchants, and you ticked off the land speculators. So you have this continual tension and upsetness, for lack of a better term, in the colonies against who? The British government. Okay, there's your number one. Hope everybody understood that. Okay, if that wasn't bad enough, another stinging blow to the colonists is when Parliament passed the Sugar Act of 1764, which is your next subtopic. So another stinging blow to the colonists was when Parliament passed the Sugar Act of 1764. Now, Parliament passed the Sugar Act of 1764 to accomplish these two goals. They had two goals in mind when they passed the Sugar Act of 1764. And we've talked about it. What was the first goal? Raise money to do what? Pay off the debt. Now let's talk about that. Let's put a different term. If the American colonists pay to reduce the debt, what does that do to the British citizens? piece of the pie to pay the debt. Yeah, so that's exactly, the first goal was to reduce taxes for citizens in Great Britain. Because if the Americans paid, they would pay less, right? So the first goal of the Sugar Act of 1764 was to reduce taxes for citizens who lived back in Great Britain. Because obviously they're going to have to pay less if the colonists pay more, right? Pretty simple. What was the second goal? To raise money to pay expenses of doing what in the American colonies? What do we still have to do in the American colonies? Very good, my dear. Protect. Okay? So the two goals of the Sugar Act of 1764 were, one, to tax the American colonists so that citizens back in Great Britain paid less taxes, and number two, to raise money to help protect the colonies militarily from other countries that might be interested in taking them over. That was the whole purpose that Parliament passed the Sugar Act of 1764. So what did the Sugar Act of 1964 do? It placed a tax on certain things. Another name for a tax is a what, Morgan? We give you that green sheet for a reason, buddy. A duty. Very good. Tax, another name for a tax is a duty. So logistically and officially, the Sugar Act placed a duty on certain products, which is a tax. Duty, another name for a tax. So if you take your AP exam at the end of next year and they say duty, you'll know that that's a tax. They probably won't say tax, they'll say duty. Okay? Now, what do you think got taxed? Obviously, sugar is one, but there actually were more than one. There were three. But sugar was taxed. Okay? So if you were involved in the sugar market, growing or producing or selling, you were placed a tax. Now, I don't know why they separated these, but molasses was also taxed. It seems to have sugar in it, but they were specific. So sugar was taxed, and molasses were taxed. Now, this is interesting. This is where it got kind of crazy. They also taxed on the Sugar Act any products that American colonists got from countries other than Great Britain. So if they bought something from France, it cost them a duty or tax to do what? Bring it into the country. Okay? So the Sugar Act of 1764 placed a duty or tax on sugar, placed a duty or tax on molasses, and also put a duty or tax on any products that would be imported into the colonies from outside the British Empire. Now I should clear that because that could be confusing. Would it be taxed if it came from a colony that was under British rule in the Philippines? No. It was outside the empire, so make sure you get that. It wasn't just Great Britain, but anything came in outside the British Empire was taxed. Now, if you were the British government, Miss Jones, and you passed this law, and you were going to tax the rest of these people here on sugar, molasses, and anything that came from outside the British Empire, and you knew they were pissed about it right off the bat, what might be your first concern?
Smuggling?
Smuggling! Now that's when you import or export goods secretly or illegally. So, very good. We're training you. 2 days and you're trainable. Okay? So, with the adoption of the Sugar Act, the British government became very concerned about smuggling. And the definition of smuggling is to import or export goods secretly or illegally. And this would be both, would it not? Secretly and illegally. You couldn't hardly do it without either, the other. So, as a result of this concern over smuggling, the British government did the following 4 things because they were concerned about smuggling. God, Jones, you are on fire today. I'm telling you. The old green sheet comes through it again. So as a result over their concern of smuggling, the British government did the following. Well, let's just ask you. Ivan, you are the British government and you're concerned about smuggling to import or export goods secretly or illegally. What might you do to keep that from happening?
Inspect every boat.
How would you do that? You'd put British naval patrols to inspect all ships entering colonial harbors, wouldn't you? Very good. So there's one thing the British government did, is they took British naval patrols, Navy ships, in other words, and they inspected every ship that came in to the colonies, the harbors, looking for smuggled goods. So you're exactly right, Ivan. They set up ships that covered every colonial harbor, stopped them, inspected them, looking for smuggled goods. That'd be one way to kind of solve the problem, wouldn't it? That Ivan. I didn't realize a good job I didn't pick in this much. Okay, Emily, what would you do?
I don't know.
Well, what happens, Emily, if somebody happens to sneak by the old British patrol boats? Where might those smuggled goods be? What? How about, you're close, how about warehouses? So the second thing they did is British inspectors searched warehouses looking for smuggled goods. So if they didn't catch you bringing it into the country, they certainly didn't have any problem going to your warehouse and checking it out. Okay? Siobhan, what might you do next? So they get through the old harbor, then they actually don't have their warehouse checked, or at least they do a good job of hiding. Where might British inspectors look next? Very good. Private homes. Ah, all right. You've got confidence in Rocky Mountain High School today. British inspectors search private homes. How would you like that? Can you see where this is just becoming a more First of all, you're taxing me, which is irritating me. Now you're going to stop my boat because you don't trust me, which you shouldn't. And you're going to check for contraband. And then you're going to have the gall to go into my warehouse without permission and check. And if you don't find anything there, knock on the door and walk in and check my house out. I mean, this is what this got to. Okay? Now, if I couldn't get that to work, what might I do next? Now, I'm really going to be impressed if somebody gets this. What would you do next to make sure there was no more smuggling? I mean, you check the boats, you check the warehouses, you check the homes, and you can't find, you know that Lauren's smuggling something, but you can't find anything on her boat, you can't find anything in her warehouse, you can't find anything in her house. How are you going to find out if she's smuggling, Wassam? How are you going to do it?
Personal.
What? You're going to what?
Personal checks, like shaking down.
Well, we already did. Yeah, that's a good guess. But that didn't work either. We shook him down, didn't find it. But you know it, dang guy. Lauren has got some stuff. How am I going to find it? What do you say?
Oh,
Hey, she's getting closer. No, you don't hold her families, but what might you do? Both for sitting over there going, I don't really like that damn Lauren anyway. So my boyfriend. I know she's holding some stuff. Yes, for what? Money. So the British officials even hired snitches, so to speak. They listed rewards to citizens that would rat out their colonist friends or enemies about having things. Okay, very good. We have to have some weird analogies. Now, Campbell, you were on the ball there. You were close. You got to get close to get to the answer. Okay, so revenue collectors even tried to enlist the aid of other colonists by offering them rewards for reporting among their friends and neighbors who was smuggling. So they made some arrangements. They kind of had it covered. Did they get everything? No, but I'll tell you, they got a lot. They didn't let much. They're pretty serious about collecting this money, were they not? To search your boat, to search your warehouse, to search your house. They'll even get your friends to rat on you for money. But we want to make sure if this is coming in. That was the Sugar Act of 1764. Have both of these acts got American colonists pretty fired up? Okay. Well, tomorrow we're going to talk about two more unpopular laws by Parliament. the Currency Act, and the Quartering Act. And we'll just continue this on, and pretty soon, we're going to be so mad we're going to have a war here. Right? That's how it works. God, this is a good bunch. I'm really starting to like you guys. Ivan, you started out with a tremendous effort today.